Hello everybody, it is the Naughty Degen here, coming at you with another video. In this video, I want to be talking about Nifty League. This is an NFT game project that I own a Degen in. I'm not sponsored by them. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid by any of this. But I do own a Degen, so just be aware about that. I am always transparent with you guys. And this project just raised $5 million in seed investments to expand its NFT gaming metaverse. Now what's key here are the names on this list. The biggest one, Vayner Funds. This is Gary V's fund. Yeah, there's a lot of other big names on here. If you go through Twitter though, if you're looking at like social scores, the Vayner Fund side of things is probably the most, pays the most social dividends there in terms of when Gary starts tweeting about this project. He hasn't yet, but this also is only like a week old, so we're gonna see where that goes. I hope he does soon. That'll be really cool. But yeah, 5 million was raised from this collection of people. You could see some big names, like I said, obviously Vayner Funds, DraftKings co-founder, okay, has invested. You see right here, Spartan Group, Avocado Guild, Evos Gaming. A lot of big names here. A lot of big names here. And again, the biggest social score would be, you know, Gary V. But, you know, all these other names are no names. Like, they still have good social scores. And of course, they offer more than just the social element of word of mouth. They offer, you know, they probably have connections in the industries, things like that. Good ideas, good roadmaps, you know, giving input to the team to make the best game possible, because they now own a good portion of the tokens, so of the founders token. So that is something to consider. The team is going to be using this funding for a variety of different things. Okay, number one is acquisition. Got to get more employees, got to get more thoughts, more leaders, more you know, just more people putting in their time to make the project better. And that, I think, is going to be a key part of this funding. Marketing, I really like the route they're going with marketing. Okay, you see a lot of the kind of pump and dump NFT projects where they're like, we're going to pay this influencer on Twitter to tweet about this a few times a week. And yeah, that might help in the short term, but I think the route to grow a game for a long-term project in terms of marketing is getting big names on the team and then investing in esports and guilds and things like that that we're seeing really take a big hold in the NFT gaming space. Guilds especially are becoming really big. But yeah, esports, this is a competitive game, Nifty Smashers. There's other games coming along, so we're nowhere near the top on this project, in my opinion, not financial advice. But yeah, a lot of this marketing is going to be used to build up esports tournaments, which I think is going to be really good. You know, uploading that to YouTube, having that streamed on Twitch. That's going to really grow this a lot more organically versus just having, oh, we're going to pay this influencer $1,000 for this week to tweet about this a few times. I think there's a spot for that in marketing, but I think when you're really talking about a project that has a long-term goal, you want to go this route. Partnerships, funding from this round will also be used to acquire land in popular metaverses such as the Sandbox. Nifty League will use this land as a means to acquire new Degen owners, players, and partners. Now this is really cool because how do I explain this? When you buy land in the Sandbox, people have always questioned, well, what is the inherent value of this land? Well, the inherent value of this land is mainly advertising. You know, why is Samsung in Decentraland? It's not because they think it's cool. I mean, they might, but it's because they could use that to leverage marketing for their business. And you could go into their place in Decentraland and you could like click on links and it'll redirect you. They do product launches and things like that. And as metaverses grow, the value of these lands typically grow because, you know, if a metaverse has 10,000 people in it, it's going to be valued differently versus a metaverse that has 100 people in it versus a metaverse that has 100,000 people in it. It's all about looking at conversion rates, and if they're already in metaverses, that means they already have an interest in NFTs. So if Nifty could buy land in the sandbox and maybe even do an actual partnership with them, that I think is going to onboard a lot of new users. Now, supporting the round, Founders has given 90% of the original token supply to the investors and agreed to mint an additional 33 million NFTL tokens. Now, this thing right here might give a couple people pause. It's like, they're expanding the supply a little bit, but I think they made it right because they are having a vesting schedule where it's not going to all come at once. So I'm cool with that. Things like VC funding and selling tokens to investors and selling parts of the business to investors, it's all about how it's done. I've seen it done really well. I've seen it done really poorly. When I look at the Nifty team, I think they're doing it really well. I think they got the right names. They got Gary Vee on board. They have a ton of people who have experience in the space building lasting businesses. This is not something that I think is just going to be, a short-term thing. This is something that, they're going to want to build out more games, more use case of the token over the next year, and that is going to add a lot to this game. They're launching rentals soon to where you could rent your NFT, which I think I'm going to be doing. Not a ton of information is out on that yet, but as much as I like playing the game, I don't have the time to play it every day, and I feel like I'm just missing out on income. So once rental comes out, I'm going to be renting my NFT, at least in the short term till I have more time. Now, another thing I want to go over on this project is another reason why I'm okay with this, this selling of the initial tokens. Again, it's all about business, right? You can, if you do the right things with that $5 million, you could grow this project so much that, even if there is that additional 33 million minted, it's not going to have a huge difference. But look at this, right? Nifty League. Markets are crazy lately. Don't focus on the short term, but valued at 22 million. A lot of people want to compare tokens to Axie because it's the top game NFT GameFi project, right? Let's not even compare it to Axie. Let's compare it to a token that is mid-rank. Seed and Arena, worth almost $400 million. The key here is, and why I'm so excited on this project, is it's just so early. I'm not focused on price of the tokens. I haven't sold any of my NFTL tokens yet. Not focused on the short-term price. I'm really focused on if the team, I think they will, builds a good suite of games, invests in the esports, in the guild scene, and gets some big influencers into their team, this token, I think, is tremendously undervalued. Now, another key part of the token I want to mention is currently there's not a ton of utility for it. It is speculative. The only utility the token has currently is you could spend it to rename your NFT. So that's some utility. What's the future hold? Well, land. They're going to be launching a Niftyverse, their own metaverse, being able to buy land in there, right? Being able to possibly buy like cosmetics and things like that, I think are a possibility. Rentals. We don't have a ton of information on the rental side of things, but it looks like you're going to have NFTL token to rent someone's Degen. And so I think that will add more utility to it. I'd like to see some burn mechanisms in place. I'd like to see, some taxes in place, like, a 1% tax, on rentals to where that amount of NFTL is burned, things like that. I want to see some tokenomics improved on the in-game ecosystem. Like if you buy land, let's say, it costs 10,000 NFTL tokens to buy land in the Niftyverse. Portion of that, maybe we burn it. Things like that to put some type of deflationary mechanism on the token. I think will do the token really well. But yeah, Gary Vee is invested. A lot of other names, DraftKings co-founders invested. We have some announcements coming up today. I think we're gonna maybe learn more about rentals today. This is a good project, guys. In my opinion, do your own due diligence. You know, do your own research, obviously. But I'm really excited. I really am. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you next time. As always, have a great day, and be sure to check out Nifty League.